Today we're breaking down the Stormbreaker activity found in Star Citizen 4.2, currently in the PTU and soon to be released alive. This content is brutal, fully open PvP and packed with dangerous NPCs. It takes place entirely within the Pyro system, and you'll want to come ready and well equipped. First things first, set up your home location to checkmate when you first start up the game during 4.2. It's the best place to access Pyro 1 and Pyro 4, where everything happens. Before you leave checkmate, gear up with the following: a multi-tool with a tractor beam attachment, a primary weapon. My personal choice to start out with is the P4 AR. Bring along a backup pistol, buy one and stash it on your ship. Go ahead and grab some med pins on your way out as well, and you'll definitely want to be taking some heavy or medium armor. The heavier the better, in my opinion. Also, when you head out of your hangar, you'll also need a ship with a med bed, preferably the Star Lancer TAC, Cutlass Red, or Medical Terrapin. If you don't have any of these, I'd go ahead and bring a ship that can carry a C8R Pisces or an Ursa Medevac, and then obviously bring those vehicles as well. Once you have the needed ship or vehicles, head to Pyro 4 and use the Mobiglass map to search for Pharaoh. There are 10 Pharaoh data centers. Your main goal is to secure a data processing keycard, which grants access to the data processing room on site. That's where you'll print the specimen access card, the key item for the final mission steps on Pyro 1 at the Lazarus labs, which we'll be heading to later. A key thing I want to emphasize here is that you only need one data processing keycard per run. Once you find it, go straight to the data processing room and begin printing that much needed specimen access card. Up to 4 keycards can be available in spawn per Pharaoh site in separate secured areas. You have 4 opportunities to get the data processing keycard, but while doing this, keep in mind that sites reset often but have cooldowns. Each data access keycard room that we're going over inside of Pharaoh facilities follows the same layout. Each will contain a computer terminal that sits near a safe. Interact with the terminal to receive a 4-digit code. It'll typically be in the form of an email or a small tab. Then you take that 4-digit code and input it into the keypad on the safe, which will then open. If you're lucky, the safe will contain a data processing keycard, which you'll need later to unlock the data processing room. If the safe is already open, move on, and do the same if the safe simply doesn't respond to the code when entered, as they are known to become bugged at times. All of these sites are fully PvP enabled and crawling with hostile NPCs as well, and while you're flying in, turrets may be active. And if you're not bringing a medical ground vehicle, I'd recommend bringing small ground vehicles like the Mirai Pulse. Otherwise, you'll be doing quite a bit of walking if the turrets are active. Once you make it to a Pharaoh site, before you enter the main lab, check the exterior buildings. Look for the square building with a pylon coming off the top left corner that glows red. Inside of this, you'll effectively find a small hab, and on the desk, you may find a red maintenance keycard. There is only one of these per Pharaoh site, and it's required to open the maintenance room at this location. Inside of the maintenance room, you'll find a Sterling armor suit, possibly one of the data processing keycards, and a PC with a 4-digit code that'll allow you to access that data processing keycard, which is contained in a safe. The Sterling suit is essential. You'll need it later at the Lazarus labs to pass a restricted door. It's important to note here that it can be used for the data processing keycard and Sterling armor as is, but it's better to hold on to the maintenance keycard and take it to the Lazarus labs on Pyro 1, which we'll be visiting later. There it allows you to unlock a battery lockup, which is located behind the main Lazarus lab building. The battery then can be used to unlock the new Atlas IKTI. This is a high-end, battle-focused Atlas suit built for the Apex Valakkar fight, but you can also extract it and use it later as well. Now, if you didn't get a keycard from this first room, or decided to hold on to the maintenance keycard, it's time to go undercover. Head to the main lab area within the facility and locate an NPC with a lab coat. There should be quite a few of them. If you're running solo, go ahead and tractor the body onto your ship and swap your gear on board. If you're running with a crew, have someone drop their gear and equip the lab coat instead. It's important to note these lab coats have no inventory. You can only carry the one mag equipped in any large weapons, as the lab coat has no magazine slots. If you're the one running around with the lab coat, pistols work best. You can equip them directly onto your person, making everything a whole lot easier, which is why I mentioned bringing a pistol earlier in the video. Now, if you're still not there, return back to the lab and go back to where you saw the Copian in a cage. You'll go to the door right next to that Copian and then press the button on it. This triggers the scanner to look over your character, and this will gain you access to the secured portion of the lab. An important note here is dragging NPCs with lab coats on no longer works to access these doors. As mentioned earlier, enter this room, grab the key code from the PC, and then go open the safe. If you don't find a data processing keycard within the lab, check these following locations for data processing keycards as well. They'll follow the same standard format that I described earlier. Head to the executive lounge. There's going to be a laptop on the coffee table that gives you the code, and then there's a safe off to the right of it. And then finally, if that fails, go to the data analysis room upstairs near the data processing server room. You'll use the lab code again to enter the space, and the same thing again. Get the code from the PC and enter it into the safe. Once you find a key, go directly to the data processing room in the upstairs of the building. Using the data processing key card, enter the data processing room door, clear out all of the scientists and security within the room. Your player running with the lab coat will either need to re-gear using the equipment found in this room, or take cover. Use the corner PC to get the 5-digit code located near the window, and then enter that into the server console, again by the window. If you go to enter the code and it shows 100% on the screen and it's not interactable, either wait for the cooldown or take the key to another Pharaoh site. The key cards are not location specific, but if everything activates like normal, enemies will spawn in waves during the print cycle. At 50%, you'll be required to hit a continue button to finish. Once done, grab the specimen access card off of that server that you typed the code into, and exit the facility through the door that opened to the outside the NPCs were coming in from. And from here, head out and fly back to Checkmate if you want to store any extra keys you acquired along the way. Once done, head to Pyro 1. Once you reach Pyro 1, search for Lazarus transport hubs on your map. There are 6 of them located on the planet, and each of these connects to its own specific Lazarus lab. If you hit resistance the transport hub, go to the next one. Once you're able to safely land, you're going to hop out of your ship and go to the center of this facility. There you'll find a tram you can ride to the Lazarus lab. Do make sure you don't park within the tram's pathing, as if it hits your ship, it'll instantly destroy it. And also, once you board the tram, do notice it has no doors, so don't fall out. And once you reach the actual lab itself, head to the red outpost building off to the right of the main facility. Inside, you'll find a med bed you can set your spawn to. From here, head to the infirmary within the main facility. But we're not here to heal up, but if you need to, go ahead. You just won't be able to spawn here. While you're here in the infirmary, go ahead and look through the window on the right side of this room. In the next door room with the window, you'll see a periodic table with 2 glowing elements, which will have 2 digits attached to them. Use these to determine the 4-digit loot room code that you'll use to enter that room next door. Inside, you'll find another Sterling suit that grants access to the specimen cache room. If by some chance you still don't have a Sterling suit at this point, simply find one of the NPCs around this facility with a Sterling suit on and take them out. Those gray generic suits will work as well. Now that you have a Sterling suit, go down to the cache room and prepare to unlock the egg. It is important to note before activating the egg, if you brought the maintenance key card along to gain access to the Atlas IKTI, I would go ahead and have the player with the maintenance key card go unlock the battery from the building behind the main facility, and then take it over to the IKTI building and insert it into the battery slot off to the side of it. It once more works just like the Hathor sites. An important thing to note here is the IKTI can fit on the tram and be extracted later, and it gives you a major advantage during the final fight of this area against the irradiated Apex Valakkar. Once you've removed the IKTI from the building it started in, go ahead and begin the process of opening the egg container. To do this, simply head into the cache room, insert your specimen key card into the bottom of the egg container, which will trigger a timer and waves of enemies to spawn on your location. Fight off the enemies until the egg case opens. Once it opens, grab the egg and run out to the front of the facility and head towards the big blue glowing antenna, which is located right in front of where you found the Atlas IKTI earlier. The bottom of the antenna's structure will now accept the egg, insert it into the base of the antenna to begin the boss fight, and the irradiated Apex Valakkar will erupt out of the ground, so enjoy the show. From here, this fight is relatively straightforward but intense. You'll want to clear out the smaller irradiated Valakkar first, then focus on the irradiated Apex Valakkar. The key thing with fighting it is the glowing green weak spots are where you'll do the real damage. It is important to note you can shoot it in the mouth, but it does very little damage in comparison to the green spots. With the IKTI suit, you can solo fight it in about 15 minutes. With 4 players or more, expect to finish it in under 10. My biggest recommendation beyond this is to simply keep your distance. The closer you are, the more dangerous the Apex becomes. Find a sweet spot where you can consistently hit the weak spots but minimize the incoming damage. Once the Apex is down, loot the area, focusing on Valakkar parts. These are the new real rewards, which can be turned into Wicklow. There is a freight elevator near the antenna. This freight elevator can be used to send loot back to the transport hub, which you can then retrieve and leave with. An important thing to note here is Stormbreaker is not a limited time event. It's a permanent part of Star Citizen now, but it is also PvP heavy and still buggy, so be prepared to hit heavy resistance and instability in the first few weeks of its existence. It's possible there'll be changes between now and the live release within the event. If this happens, I'll update the video accordingly. In the meantime, feel free to post any questions in the comments. If this guide helped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dive Star Citizen content. And as always, thanks for watching and stay safe out there. I'll see you in Pyro.